Hey everyone, I'm Abby Sharp. Welcome back to Abby's Kitchen. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace, and today we're going to be looking at another Harpers Bazaar What I Eat in a Day review of Lil Yachty. Now, let's first talk about my sponsor. So I know I talk about Squarespace a lot over here, but I do get so many questions about how to quickly scale an online business. And I do think that it really does start with a website or blog. So Squarespace is an all-in-one platform, whether you're looking to build a website, blog, online store, or use their marketing tools and analytics. They have some awesome extensions for e-commerce that allow you to promote products and streamline bookkeeping, collect payments and donations, and link up your social media accounts so that everything works together seamlessly. I say the best use of your time is in your business, not in putting together a complicated site. So if you're looking to start up a new business or passion project this year and you need a website to really get started, check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/AbbySharp to save 10% off of your first purchase of a website or domain. Also, very quickly, you can check out my disclaimer here on the screen. So feel free to pause the video to read it or check it out in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring that little bell so that you never miss out on a video. All right, let's see what this guy eats.
And I don't really eat unless it's like a morning time thing. I wake up and I have to go do something, but usually when I wake up on a daily basis, I don't really eat.
Okay, so I mean, that's not uncommon to hear. So if he's not a breakfast person, cool. I mean, that isn't going to make or break your health like we used to think. Now, I am personally a big fan of breakfast, but contrary to previous belief, it's not necessarily the most important meal of the day. So one review of the literature suggested that eating breakfast wasn't a reliable way to lose weight, and skipping breakfast did not put you at risk of gaining it. So I say eat when it works for you. Having said that, starting your day off with a balanced meal can often help mitigate overeating later on in the day. So if you do want to become a breakfast person, when maybe you're just naturally not, I recommend starting with something refreshing and light, like a smoothie, or even something like a granola bar and a piece of fruit, and then working your way up to a more substantial meal as your appetite improves.
I just got into chips. I didn't eat chips for a while. Like, I didn't really care for chips, but chips are kind of cool.
Chips are kind of cool.
It's the coolest.
The right kind of chips. It's these chips from Japan, but they from Canada, but they sell them in Japan, and they're maple chips. And they taste like syrup. Whoa.
So I want to claim this ingenious concept as truly Canadian because, come on, maple bacon? What other country would have this classic combination top of mind to infuse into chips? But I did Google this. I Googled it hard. Like, I was all the way on the 10th page of Google before I gave up, and sadly, I cannot substantiate any of such claims. In fact, I couldn't even find evidence that they even still exist, which is a travesty in itself, I would say, no doubt. But anyways, if these chips do actually exist, if these are a real thing in the universe, let me know in the comments below, and also pop a bag in the mail for me. Do a girl a favor. I gotta try these. Let's see what else.
It's these honey hot cheese puffs. I sound like a fat kid. They also like Lay's honey, I think they call honey barbecue. Cheeto puff popcorn. I hate it too. But not the puff, but like the puff popcorn. Slap.
Whoa, this guy's passion for crunchy snacks is commendable. I mean, I can feel the emotion here, and it is hard to criticize a man with so much passion about anything. Now, obviously, I'm all for chips and cheese puffs and popcorn and all those things in moderation. Even if you want to like crush a bag of that for breakfast, you do you. But of course, I'm definitely hoping that we get to see a little bit more protein and some healthy fats and some fiber in some of the meals and snacks to come. Let's take a look.
I love Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies. I got about 40 boxes at the house.
40.
Yeah.
This is amazing. I mean, thank you for supporting the girls of America. A lot of reef knots were probably tied thanks to this man right here. But again, like the chips, nothing wrong with a cookie or two a day in the context of a healthy, balanced diet. But what I am disappointed about is that he's Team Thin Mints and not Samoa. I'm a little taken aback by that. I mean, leave me a comment below on what Girl Guide cookie you stockpile each year. These are really important questions we need answers to.
I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal bars, but it's two different kinds. It's the long kind that says king size, and then there's a smaller kind, but they're not the same brand. Oh, man.
Okay, so I'm a little upset that I did not know that these existed because as a kid, I was low-key obsessed with Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal. And I actually recently bought a box because I saw it on my Uber Eats app when I was emergency buying some milk from a convenience store. And then I tried it, and honestly, it wasn't even that good. Aww. Honestly. Seriously, adulting can feel like such a disappointment when stuff like that happens.
Are you okay? Run.
But as for the bars, there is only 100 calories in one of them, so totally not a big deal if you're craving a little something sweet and small and nostalgic. But there's no fiber and only a gram of protein, so it's not really going to provide you with that much satiety if you're hoping to use it as a replacement for an actual breakfast meal. In fact, if you look at the ingredient list, we see sugar listed 6 different times under different names. Sneaky little bugger. So if you're looking at a box of cereal or a snack bar and you're trying to limit some of the added sugar in your diet, you want to look for any syrups or words that end in ose. So like fructose, dextrose, maltose, and sucrose. And while I have no issue with some added sugar in cereal or bars, the higher up on the ingredient list, the more of that ingredient makes up as a relative proportion in the product. So ideally, we want to look for ingredient lists where sugar is the ingredient near to the bottom.
And me and my security one time, we drove around for an hour looking for these Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal bars. And I want them so bad, I wouldn't stop. We just kept going different gas stations. We kept going, we kept going, we kept going. Tomorrow, did we find them? No. We didn't find them.
Wow, dedication. That is dedication. I mean, thank goodness men can't get pregnant because with these cravings, this man would be one high maintenance preggers.
I'm having such a craving for burgers. It's like my body is just craving red meat and mint chip ice cream, but only mint chip. Any other ice cream makes me want to puke. Isn't that weird?
Yes, Stewie, that's the one weird thing in all this.
Just saying.
I love sour gummy octopus. Yes. Also, it's this candy from Japan. It's like haichu. It's like a haichu with nerds in it. Oh.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, he's still going with the list.
So there's these Smarties squeeze candies. You're making me think about all my snacks I like. Like if you could take Smarties and unravel them, but crush it up and make it squeeze candy. Oh.
Anyone else just like dying for a vegetable at this point? Like a carrot, like even like an itty bitty baby carrot would be nice. Well, the man likes his candy. I think we established that little factoid because we are like halfway through this video and the only thing we've heard about is his favorite 7-Eleven finds. Definitely bringing back some real good memories here, folks. But, you know, hey, if this amount of sugar feels good to him, cool. It does sound like he's kind of just wandering down memory lane with this listicle of 90s sweets. So I'm assuming, or at least hoping, that he doesn't exclusively eat all of these foods as a meal. But you know me, I'm all about adding, not taking away. So if my man Yachty was craving that Smartie squeeze candy for his morning meal, then baby, you squeeze that sugary goo into your mouth with gusto. But maybe we can try to just like pair it with a couple eggs or some nut butter on toast. I mean, that little addition alone would definitely help stabilize his energy levels, improve satiety, and result in a more nutritionally balanced meal. What's next?
So I like SpongeBob Krabby Patty gummies too. You know those, like the gummies, like the Krabby Patty gummies, those go crazy. The gummy pizzas, no, I don't like the gummy pizzas, but the gummy hot dogs. Like the, it's like a hot dog, but you could tear it apart and it's gummy.
Okay, I just gotta know, is there a legitimate difference in flavor between a gummy pizza and a gummy hot dog? Or is it just more like fun to eat the long mini foods versus the flat round mini foods? Or does like the green relish count as a serving of greens? So many questions.
Yellow M&Ms, that's a classic. That's probably the first candy I can remember.
Yellow? Who the heck wants the yellow ones? This is sounding like one of those real strange rider requests. I don't know. Blue was always the most sought after color of anything in my household. Yellow is definitely close to last.
There. Oh, sleepy time.
I want to talk about this. Stop this video right now and rank your M&Ms from best to worst. I need to know.
Do you ever eat fruits and vegetables?
I never ate it. No.
Even if like someone makes you?
Who gonna make me do it?
I don't know, like a doctor?
Stop it. You crazy.
Got it. Okay, this is starting to make sense. First of all, we're all grown adults, and the cool thing about being a grown-up is that, yeah, no one can tell you what you have to eat or not eat. So if Yachty doesn't want to eat vegetables, he doesn't have to.
You don't win friends with salad.
But let's talk about the implications of eating just like straight up candy and no fruits or veg. First of all, what would happen if you ate legit no produce at all? Well, I remember when I was doing my internship, a woman came into the ER who had some psychological issues and had developed an actual phobia of eating fruits and veg. And as a result, she was the first case of scurvy, aka vitamin C deficiency, that any of the staff at the hospital had ever seen. Now, you maybe have heard of scurvy in relation to sailors in the 1800s because it was apparently hard to safely carry fresh produce on board. But this is incredibly rare in the first world today because there's literally bits of vitamin C in so many fruits and veggies. I mean, you could just drink a cup of orange juice to get your fill.
Dewey, go easy on the orange juice. That stuff doesn't grow on... Wait, it does.
So no, while I haven't seen any fresh produce in Yachty's diet, he does like his potato chips. And while maybe not the most nutritious source of antioxidants, they are made of potatoes and they are rich in vitamin C. So I guess his enthusiasm about honey barbecue and maple bacon chips is serving him some benefit. Now, the more likely immediate concerns around a diet rich in candy and low in fruits and vegetables would be constipation from a lack of fiber, energy spikes and fatigue from the high glycemic load, and skin aging and breakouts. In fact, one study found that teens who consumed more added sugar had a 30% increased risk of developing acne. And considering his public presence, I do assume that aesthetics are a consideration for him. Now, the next question I'm sure I'm going to see in the comment section is whether or not this way of eating will cause diabetes. First of all, there is a lot of correlational research suggesting a strong association between sugar intake and type 2 diabetes, even after controlling for total calorie intake, body weight, alcohol consumption, and exercise. If we look at this directly, this association might be explained by the idea that excessive fructose intake may increase inflammation in the body, fatty liver, and localized insulin resistance. But then the other indirect argument is related to weight. And I want to take a quick second here to unpack that. Obviously, eating a diet rich in free sugars without any fiber to help slow down its absorption is not going to be very satiating and may therefore be really easy to overeat. So then the theory follows that consuming an excess of calories leads to weight gain, and body fat does make it harder for the insulin to make its way into the cells. However, this is actually just one small part of a very complicated puzzle. And in fact, insulin resistance also increases body fatness because of its role as a growth hormone. Also, with regards to the sugar argument, starving insulin-resistant cells don't cry out for broccoli, they call out for straight-up sugar. In other words, it's a two-way street here, so it's really important not to put the blame on the individual and their lifestyle choices, especially since losing weight without addressing some of the other causes of insulin resistance like stress, poor sleep, saturated fat intake, medications, poor pain management, and physical inactivity may not fully fix the problem. So people with type 2 diabetes come in a wide range of body sizes and shapes, many of whom eat a generally balanced diet. So we really should not assume that somebody is going to get diabetes because they eat a lot of junk food, or that they're going to avoid diabetes because they eat clean. Diabetes is a huge, complicated topic, so this is just really scratching the surface here. But if you want more details, leave me a comment below. Having said all of that, there is a reason why the official guidelines recommend limiting added sugar to no more than 10% of your total calories, as it is associated with a wide range of chronic disease. So, for example, one study following 8,000 people for 22 years suggested that men who consumed 67 grams or more of sugar per day were 23% more likely to develop depression than those who consumed 40 grams or less. There's also a lot of research linking excessive sugar intake to greater risk of cancer and heart disease. But alas, like pretty much all of the research that I've cited here, this is all correlation, not causation. There are a lot of confounders that it's really hard to control for when we look at sugar intake and its complicated relationship with disease. For example, it's always very possible that populations who have higher rates of sugar intake are also more economically disadvantaged and face other barriers to good health like inadequate healthcare, stress, sleep, lack of education, etc. But alas, I am very excited to hear a little bit more about Yachty's hit list of sweets, so let's get into it.
I love exotic sodas, like bubblegum soda, cotton candy soda, red cream soda. Canada Dry, they make sodas that aren't ginger ale, like they make regular sodas. They have a vanilla cream soda. That was a moment of silence.
Gotta say a quick amen to the soda gods to close off this ode to exotic soda here. Exotic soda. Exotic soda. That is a term I did not know I needed in my vocabulary, but I will say I too love me a classic pop shop cream soda.
Sprite Tropical Mix. Now, Tropical Mix, my theory is a reincarnation of Sprite Remix. It's the best flavor Sprite of all time. Well, the Sprite LeBron mix was crazy too, but that was a long time ago.
This guy has actual scientific theories on soda. Like if they gave out doctorate degrees in soda, this guy would be on his way to tenure. Like he definitely knows his shit.
Mystics. Yo, mystics go dumb. And for anybody who hasn't had a mystic, you're missing out on life.
Apparently my life has no meaning. Anyone else feeling seen?
Oh yeah, that is us to a T.
I don't drink tea. Tea sucks. Anybody who drinks tea is gonna grow old quick.
Not to sound like a crotchety old biddy offended by the tea hate, but so studies suggest that a diet rich in antioxidants like those found in black and green tea may help improve blood sugar and blood cholesterol levels over time and lower the risk of certain cancers and age-related degenerative diseases. There was also 2 longitudinal studies on Japanese adults that showed those who drank the most green tea were less likely to die. Just saying, but boom.
Any wing spot that has peach juice probably has a low rating. It's probably dirty in the back, but it's good.
This is probably the funniest line, so random, in the whole interview. Note to self, check wing restaurants for peach juice on the menu and weigh the risks and benefits of said peach juice with food poisoning. Got it.
I used to really love root beer. You know why? Because me and my dad used to go to Cracker Barrel when I was a kid. And when we would go to Cracker Barrel, they'd give you a root beer and it'd be in a bottle and I would drink it like it's a beer. And I would act like I was drunk.
Okay, but like really, what kid didn't pretend their root beer was the real deal? Like if you didn't feel slightly rebellious drinking your root beer while driving around the mall parking lot with your learning permit, well, your childhood was probably a lot more pure than mine. Now, as for Yachty's love of soda, again, I have nothing against an occasional root beer if that is what brings you joy. However, there is a lot of research linking an excess in sugar-sweetened beverages to chronic disease. So one study found that for each daily serving of sweetened beverages, kids' risk of obesity went up by 60%. It's also been associated with higher rates of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, heart disease, and cancer. Not to mention the impact on teeth. I mean, I'm not sure if that's the reason for his $35,000 rainbow grills, but man, seems like a big price to pay for a literal sweet tooth. And on that note, yeah, wow. I learned a lot about candy and chips and soda pop that I did not know I needed to know. But I am feeling a lot more prepared for my next movie night in and for parenting two kids who will one day become teenage boys and probably eat me at a house and home.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
But what can we say about Lil Yachty's diet? Well, this video was called Everything Lil Yachty Eats in a Day. So normally these episodes do walk us through like a typical day of meals, but this one was kind of more like a greatest hits list of nostalgic, sugary eats. So I hope that's what it was at least. I mean, I know he said he didn't eat fruits and veg, but man, I would have been thrilled to know that there was like a chicken wing thrown in there with the peach juice and the yellow M&Ms. Like something, like anything, which is like a little bit of protein and fats to help slow down the absorption of all that added sugar. Now, there's nothing wrong with a little cookie or bag of chips or even a blue dyed cotton candy flavored pop in the context of a balanced diet. But I cannot imagine that only eating sugar would feel very good. I mean, this kid is 23, so maybe in a few years he will start to notice like, hey, you know, eating cherry blasters and cream soda for lunch kind of makes it hard for me to take a shit. Maybe I should throw like a sandwich in the mix or something. And that's really all that would need to happen. So if we add in some healthy fat, some fiber and protein into those meals and snacks, it will not only help to temper the extreme energy fluctuations, but also would likely edge out some of those higher sugar snacks because you would just feel more satiated and full. So Lil Yachty, my love, I'm not gonna tell you how you need to eat because like you said, nobody can tell a grown man to eat his vegetables. Not his doctor, not his dietitian, not even his mother. But the kid is still young, so I would expect over time, he may start to be able to pick up on some cues about how food affects his body, and he might just see some shifts in his attitude towards broccoli and berries. Well, that's the hope at least. And on that note, that is all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up. Leave me a comment below with who you'd like to see me review next. Subscribe to the channel. And a big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring. I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye.